Hey, Minnesota's own Lindsey Vonn took a big tumble early yesterday during the Super G at the World Championship. She's skiing in Austria and she seriously injured both knees and broke a bone in one of her legs. So in today's edition of Doc Hollywood, I sat down with Dr. David Dries, a trauma surgeon at Regents Hospital, to find out what the future may be for celebs who are suffering some traumatic injuries. Take a look. I am here with Dr. David Dries, a trauma surgeon at Regents Hospital. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we're happy that you're here today, especially because everybody in Minnesota is concerned about our hometown girl, Lindsey Vonn, Olympic skier, and she was injured in an accident while training in Austria. So it's being reported now that she has 2 knee injuries. Tell us what your assessment is.
Well, Elizabeth, the great news is that they didn't report any significant head or neck injuries. Knee injuries could reflect fractures or injuries to the ligaments, which give the knee its unique bending capacity.
So they airlift her to the hospital, and then someone like you would take over right away. What do you kind of look for in a patient like Lindsey who would come in?
You look for life-threatening bleeding, severe injuries to the brain or the spinal cord, significant internal injuries. It doesn't appear that she has any of those. Then it would be an orthopedic or even a sports medicine specialist who would look at what needs to be done for her knee injuries.
Of course, people concerned about the Olympics a year away. It's going to be a tough road for her ahead.
Well, she'll have a significant amount of rehab to do, and if there are significant ligament injuries, that could entail surgery. However, you're talking about one of the best female skiers in the world. If someone can do it, I would bet on Lindsey Vonn.
And we're all supporting her here in Minnesota. Let's talk about the X Games. Extreme winter sports just wrapped up Sunday in Aspen, Colorado. You know, 6 athletes were reportedly sent to the hospital. 1 person tragically died because of injuries doing these extreme sports. A lot of people here in Minnesota out snowmobiling, skiing, things like that. So how do we stay safe when we're out enjoying the winter weather?
If you're doing high speed or high impact sports, wear a helmet, wear appropriate protective clothing, wear your leathers if you're on your snowmobile along with your helmet. Obviously, you don't want to be at all impaired if you're operating equipment or doing high impact sports. So save your celebratory drinking for after your run is done.
If you are with a group of people, somebody gets in an accident, somebody gets hurt, what's the first step that you take?
If there's something that's causing continued injury, separate them from the source of injury. Make sure that they're alert, make sure that they're breathing. Try not to sit them up and move them around. They could have spine or spinal cord injury, and moving them around could actually worsen it.
And I'm assuming you got to call 911 right away, right?
Absolutely.
And then there's Lisa D'Amato, who won America's Next Top Model. Obviously a beautiful woman. She suffered major injuries to her face recently. She got in an accident on the set of a movie. She broke her nose, lacerated her lips, her forehead, her chin. So you look at those injuries right away. How do you work on it for someone like that?
Obviously, scarring is a significant concern. The good news is that you can use the creases in the skin to conceal a surgical scar, and you can actually reach many of the bones in the lower part of the face by going through the mouth.
Wow.
With new plastic surgery techniques, we can conceal scars so that patients don't have the ongoing emotional reminders of what they've been through.
Thanks so much for your time today.
It's been great being with you.
Intense stuff in Doc Hollywood.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know if you heard this, Lindsey Vonn said Wednesday she plans to do everything possible to be able to compete in the 2014 Olympics. So we're all sending her our love and best wishes, and she is headed back to Vail to have surgery next week. So, and our audience says yes. Yay for Lindsey. We're very proud of her. Proud that she's from Minnesota, and we want to thank Health Partners Clinics and Regents Hospital for sponsoring the show. And remember to always check with your physician if you have a health concern. And coming up later in our show here, we're going to chat with another Minnesota native. He won gold at the X Games.
Right.
He does some crazy stunts, came back from a life-threatening injury to win gold.
That's the story.
And we're going to find out from him, why do you do this?
Why?
Why? But you know what? It's one of my